All right, so I'm just going through because some of these exhibits are awkwardly marked. So I've been going through some stuff, and I've decided I am going to do the PGA letter. I know I keep saying this, but Wayfarer, their spoliation sanctions exhibits that they attached, they're not marked, so they're not identified as to what they are. They're just unsealed per court order, and so I've had a flick through because I was looking to see if there was PGA letters in there, and they were like really short excerpts of multiple deposition transcripts. Some Blake Lively, and Gianetti, Colin Hoover, and I was like, do you know what? I'm going to just do these exhibits in one hit. I think in one video because one, they're so interesting and funny, but also they're quite. It's because what I've been going through so far has been Lively's exhibits, so they are favourable to Lively, and I kind of wanted to. I feel like this is a good point in time to do. Some of the exhibits are actually favourable to Wayfarer and support their case. Wayfarer still haven't uploaded their summary judgment exhibits, which is terrifying me because we have about 500 plus exhibits already that were uploaded yesterday. It's going to take me forever to go through all of this. But these are the only exhibits so far that have come from Wayfarer. The deadline is today, so we know that they're coming today, probably in the region of another 300 exhibits. So I want to get to some Wayfarer stuff. Then I promise I will definitely do the PGA. But I think you'll thank me, though, when we get into this. So I'm not going to go through... Oh, hold on. Is there anything in the declaration? No, it's just about these exhibits are a true copy. Okay. So for the most part, these are quite short. This is a video. This is a deposition excerpt of Blake Lively. Friedman is obviously the attorney questioning for Wayfarer. Hudson was her attorney. That was the objecting attorney. So we're kind of going in, and she's answering. We don't know the question, but she's saying, no, that's not what I'm saying. Friedman, okay, I didn't think so. I just wanted to be clear. All right, I just want to get a timeline of things. The production started in early May of 2023. Is that right? Of the movie It Ends With Us? Lively. The filming itself started, I believe, in May of 2023. Okay, and was that in California? No, it was in New Jersey. Friedman playing dumb here. Oh, I thought everything was in California. Okay. And then there was a writer's strike that stopped it in June of 2023. Correct? Yeah. And then the production resumed maybe on January 5th of 2024. Is that right? That sounds correct. Okay, and was that also in New Jersey or was that in California? That was in New Jersey. We shot a couple of days in California at the end. So that is to tee up I think is to rebut her argument that, well, California law applies. So that's what that's for, I think. Obviously can't be 100% sure what's in Friedman's mind. Okay, so this is Ange Gianetti. Again, these are just really quite short. We don't know who the attorney is here, but we know Ezra Hudson is the Lively representative. So they're showing her Exhibit 12. We don't know what that is. She says thank you. So Hudson is saying basically, Exhibit 12 is a text chain between Ms. Lively and Ms. Gianetti dated May 25th through May 26th, 2023. Ms. Gianetti, do you recognize the text chain? Yes. And do you recognize this as a text chain between you and Ms. Lively? Correct. In the second entry here from Ms. Lively at the end of the sentence, she says, but let's attach up in general. And then you say, I can make any time tomorrow work. Do you see that? I do. And it looks like you play a little phone tag with her for a document. Is that right? It looks like it. And then at the end you say, I will say what I did want to review / discuss feels very, very small in light of today's news. I'm so sorry, calling you in moments. Do you see that? I do. Did you call Miss Lively on this day? I can't recall, but most likely. And the day is May 26th, right? Correct? I see. I see that on the printout, yeah. And do you recall what it was that you wanted to review and discuss with Miss Lively? I think it was wardrobe. And you say that in light of today's news, that seems very, very small, right? That's what I wrote, yes. What was today's news, do you recall? I believe it was that she had been exposed to COVID and was worried that the baby might have COVID. And how did you learn that? I don't remember where I learned it first. Did you talk with Miss Lively? Did she tell you that herself? Yes, we definitely talked about it. Did you talk about it before this call? I don't remember. And you said you think you probably did have a call with her on May 26th then. If I said I'm calling you in moments, I would have called her in moments. Sitting here today, do you have a recollection of that phone call? Exactly? No. Do you have a general recollection of it? I have a general recollection. And generally, what do you recall? I mostly remember her being very concerned about the COVID. And if I'm correct, I don't know if it was before or after. I'm not great with the timing, but I recall that she had been in hospital and the baby had been in the hospital with RSV. So that's respiratory, can't remember what the S stands for, virus. There's respiratory syncytial virus. It's a common respiratory infection, basically. And so this, that potentially the baby would have COVID. As a mother, that was concerned, very, very concerning. The phone call, do you recall whether it was just you and Miss Lively on that phone call? I think it was just the two of us on the phone call. Do you recall how long it lasted? No. Do you recall anything else about the phone call other than what you just described? Specifically on this call, I know there have been many things we were talking about at this time, but I couldn't say for sure exactly. Yeah, I don't. And where were you on May 26th? Were you in Los Angeles? Yeah, I was in Los Angeles. Was it your understanding that Miss Lively was in New York, New Jersey? New York. I mean, if it was at night, she was probably in New York. Or if she was on the set, if it was a night, or maybe she was on the set if it was a night shoot. I mean, in New Jersey, if it was a night shoot. Okay, so it is Friedman. Well, and then if they jump, then Friedman's quite saying, well, her role in the movie continued to grow, correct? Hudson objects. Gianetti, I didn't notice any change. What about editing? Well, that's post. You're still talking about production, but if we're moving to post, it's a whole different ballgame. Why'd you say it's a whole different ballgame in post? Because it's a whole different ballgame. Can you explain to me what you mean by that? I'm saying I did not notice any distinct change from Blake on the set before strike, after strike, other than she was happier and we did good work, so that felt more consistent. Post was not very consistent. That's Ange Gianetti saying that. Did you understand that a formal HR process had not yet occurred as stated in the letter with a 17-point list? Objection. Gianetti, I did not know about any HR. I never heard about any HR complaints. So that's a yes. That's a yes. Had Blake Lively made a HR complaint to Sony? Objection. Not that I know of. Do you have any reason to believe that Blake Lively had filed a HR complaint with Wayfarer? Objection. No. When it says that the complaints of our client and others have been repeatedly conveyed and well documented throughout pre-production and photography, what did you understand that to mean? Objection. And Gianetti, that she was very vocal about things that she didn't like. So that's the sum total of what Ange Gianetti thought. Okay, and they stop there. Attachment 3. This is deposition of Blake Lively. Okay, so Hudson and Friedman. So Hudson, just before you go on, are you okay? Yeah. Friedman, Do you want to take a break? No, it's fine. Let's go. On the June 1st meeting, did you expressly tell Mr. Baldoni and Mr. Heath that there were serious HR problems on the set? Friedman's asking this question. Lively. I don't know what words I used because I wasn't planning on addressing the HR issues with them directly in my trailer with Alex Sachs in that moment, but I did express real concern for the things that had occurred thus far, including Jamie entering my trailer when I was naked from the waist up. So when Jamie showed you the video of the birthing scene, the after birthing scene, are you familiar with that? Objection. That's not what I said, no. Did you, yeah. Do you recall Jamie showing you a still image on his iPhone? Objection. No, I recall a moving image. Okay. Then we jump to another different page. Lively, what actions? The actions that you raised at that June 1st meeting. Hudson objects. Lively, I don't believe he would have said to a man, it's not his fault, it's mine. I thought you wanted to see it without acknowledgement or apology or reparations. Or no. I do feel that I was treated differently. Friedman, yeah, I just want to know what you said at the meeting. So I'm asking you that during June 1st meeting, did you call the actions by Justin Baldoni sexual harassment at that meeting? Lively's acting an idiot. Which actions? Oh. Friedman, any actions that he had that you'd raised at the June 1st meeting? Hudson objects. I remember discussing the video that Jamie showed me. I remember discussing the Jamie entering my trailer, and I remember, I don't know if I told him this, or if this is another thing that Anne shared, but how bad it felt for him, to tell me personally that I felt that I looked sexy and that I looked hot, and that I was also disturbed by the way that I understood Jenny to be feeling and experiences I'd seen with her. Friedman, during the June 1st meeting, did you call the actions by Justin sexual harassment? Did you use that term? I remember using the word HR claims. Friedman, HR what? Claims. During the meeting on June 1st, did you call the actions by Jamie sexual harassment? Objection. I think the actions that I'm describing are pretty obviously sexual harassment. That's not what he's asking. Friedman, I'm asking whether you actually called them that at the meeting that was attended by these people. Lively. Like I said, Hudson objects. I don't remember what words were used because I never intended to talk to them about it. All right. Themselves. I intended to formally, and then it cuts off. Oh my life. I can't imagine 7 hours of questioning her. I just can't. Okay, so who is this? Ange Gianetti again. Oh, was Ryan Reynolds her manager? No. He was her husband, correct? Correct. Part of what Blake was complaining about in these productions was that she thought was sexist behavior, correct? I don't know. She asked her husband to talk to her studio on a movie in his capacity as her husband. She's complaining about sexism, but then she's getting her husband to speak for her. Hudson objects. Gianetti, I don't know. Todd Black was hired as the A-list producer, correct? Correct. Did Wayfarer agree to the 17-point list? Hudson objects. Gianetti, I don't know the wording, but yes, we agreed to the protections so she would return to work. Friedman, did you ever talk with anyone about anyone at Wayfarer about why they agreed to the 17-point list? Gianetti, no, I knew why. Why? Objection. Because there was a tremendous amount of money that had been invested and spent, and we had to finish the movie or it was unreleasable. Friedman, did Blake Lively threaten to leave the movie if the 17-point list wasn't signed without alteration or revision? Objection. Gianetti, that's my understanding. Do you recall telling Jamie Heath that you thought Blake was a fucking terrorist? Hudson objects. Gianetti, yes. Oh my God. And Gianetti called Blake Lively a fucking terrorist. I love it. Oh my God. Friedman. At that point in time, how much money had Sony invested in the movie? Well, I believe the ongoing budget was 28 and change, 20 million and change. We had 3 weeks left. I'm at least, and then it cuts off and it goes to another page. I believe, yeah, it goes to another page. So Gianetti's in the middle of answering. I don't know about any HR. I never heard about any HR complaints. Friedman, so that's a yes? That's a yes. Had Blake Lively made a HR complaint to Sony? Objection. Bear in mind, Gianetti is from Sony, so she would know this. Gianetti, not that I know of. Friedman, do you have any reason to believe that Blake Lively had filed a HR complaint with Wayfarer? Objection. No. When it says that the complaints of our client and others have been repeatedly conveyed and well documented throughout pre-production and photography, what did you understand that to mean? Hudson objects. Gianetti, that she was very vocal about things she didn't like. No sexual harassment. She just, if she wasn't happy about it, she would tell you. Friedman, I'm referring right now to Exhibit 19. Gianetti, okay, so what's the question? I direct your attention to 30. What's marked 3514 on the bottom? 3514, hold on. And it states in the first paragraph, the last line, and then he reads, the complaints of our client and others have been repeatedly conveyed and well documented throughout pre-production and photography. Did you know that to be true? Gianetti, no. Had you seen any documentation of the complaints referred hereto by Miss Lively? Objection, no. Friedman, had you seen any of the complaints in writing of anyone else on the set? Hudson objects. And then Friedman continues, as of that date. Gianetti, no. Do you know what complaints Lindsay Strasberg was referring to here? Objection, no. Was this email and its attachment discussed internally at Sony? Yes. Amongst who? Myself, Michael Marshall, Sanford Panich. I was not in rooms with Tom Rothman when it was discussed. I think Tom Rothman, in my my video I've just done with the continued text of Ryan Reynolds, I think Tom Rothman might be the Tom that Warren Zavala is saying to Ryan Reynolds, oh, he owes me a favor. I'll get him to do this, this, and this. I'll make him do that, and I'll get Ari involved. I think that's the Tom. I'm not sure, but I think that's who it is. So it's someone high up in Sony. I was not in rooms with Tom Rothman when it was discussed, but I'm sure they briefed him. Friedman, okay. What was the conclusion reached at Sony regarding this document? Objection. Gianetti, give her the protections. Friedman, at some point, did you say, in talking to Wayfarer, Jamie, and Justin, something like, listen, we're going to get through this movie. We're going to give her what she wants. We're going to make this film. We're going to get it done because the only thing that matters is making this film. Hudson objects. Gianetti, often. Often. At some point, did you discuss with Jamie and Justin that Blake Lively's biggest fear is that she will go onto set and not be liked? Hudson objects. I don't recall that. Did anyone at Sony discuss this document with Miss Lively? Hudson objects. Not that I know of. Did anyone at Sony discuss this document with Lindsay Strasberg? Objection. Not that I know of. Okay, and then Friedman does ask, did anyone at Sony discuss this document with David Webber? And then it cuts off. Interesting. Okay. What is this? So this looks like an email. Michael Marshall, Andy Davis, Sanford Panich, Andrea Gianetti. Okay. and go down to the bottom. So Jamie has he's forwarded a document which I think is, I don't know what it is. Yeah, it's a 17-point document. Yeah, it's dated November 9th. Okay. Hi, Michael. Please review and get back to me at your earliest convenience, Jamie. So then Michael Marshall then writes to them all, to Jamie, but copies them all in. Hey, Jamie, took a look at this following our conversation. No change in my mind from what we discussed last evening. Items 1 through, I've got to blow up because I can't read it. Items 1 through 10, 15, and 17 are basically just a yes, of course. Interestingly, I'm surprised that you all don't already have a negotiated nudity rider in place given the subject matter and content in the book, or am I misinterpreting her comment? Items 11 through 13. I'd want to hear more about what is underlying and what she's hoping to accomplish. Respectfully, of course, in the hope that some combination of the studio representative and the empowerment of Alex, presumably, whatever that means, again, hope for clarification, might mitigate the need to engage an additional A-level producer. Because they're obviously worried about the cost now of another A-level producer. Item 14 is another question mark since it sounds like she approved the engaged stunt double. I mean, that was in her loan out agreement or offer letter. It was in one of them that she had rights of approval over a stunt double. So that point was not even needed in the 17-point dramatic list. And for item 16, I guess I'm confused about this one as well, and why the engagement of day players has found its way on this list. Perhaps some of the upcoming sensitive scenes involve day players / extras, and this is an attempt to manage the perception of their professionalism. Anyway, again, another clarification point. Further, as discussed, overall the tone of the response has to be part denying the underlying insinuation / allegations, but doing so in a way that doesn't inflame or escalate further, since most of what's on the list Wayfarer is acknowledging / addressing. And of course, any unease on her part is of paramount concern to the production, and you're all committed to working with her to ensure that she's comfortable with the plan and execution of the next few weeks in order to complete photography, right? I'm going to send a copy to folks internally and ask that our production attorney offer any assistance to Amin and Joseph with respect to the drafting, etc., that they feel they may need best. And then Michael Marshall follows up. Attached letter from Blake L's team sent to Wayfarer yesterday. Reconditions she'd like satisfied before she returns to set. And below, my thoughts sent to Jamie about their response. Ange has more background / insight if you want. Okay. What is this? This is Ange Gianetti again. Okay, so Friedman objects. So Lively's team looks like they're the ones doing the questioning now. Gianetti, yeah, I mean, yeah, it says here there will be one, but I didn't remember that we had to have it, and I didn't know that it was scheduled at the end. So I believe this is Ezra Hudson. When did production start? They're talking about second phase, so it's January 5th. Okay, and when was the meeting? January 4th. Okay, and at the January 4th meeting, Hudson says, I'm going to hand you another document. Okay. Exhibit 20 for the record. Okay. Friedman asked for a time check, 3 hours, 13 minutes. See, I am committed to literally reading every word. Witness, thank you. Okay, Hudson. Miss Gianetti, this is Miss Lively's, and then they jump. Hudson, objection. Gianetti, I don't know. Friedman. So Friedman's now asking questions. Do you know who David Webber is? Yes. Did anyone at Sony discuss this document with anyone at Wayfarer? Hudson objects. I believe Michael Marshall discussed it with Wayfarer. Okay, take a short break. Yeah. Then they go off record and come back 20 minutes later. Friedman, good evening now. Good evening. Were you invited to attend a meeting on January 4th, 2024 at Blake's apartment? I believe I asked for that meeting. You asked for that meeting? Was that supposed to be the return to work production meeting? Ange, I thought it was a script meeting. So no one had any idea that this was any all hands meeting or HR meeting. No one had any idea. Friedman, did anyone tell you before what you were walking into? The belly of the beast. Hudson, objection. Gianetti, no, but Blake did say when we confirmed time and the place that she, wanted to do a clearing of the air at the beginning. And I was like, great. Friedman, were you surprised by what you heard at the meeting? Very. What were you surprised about it? Many things surprised me. I was surprised at the beginning that Ryan was joining the meeting because I thought we were going to be talking about the script and schedule. And then they asked for the line producer to leave because we had was it the line producer or I don't know, we had someone technical from the set to leave, which was fine. And then she proceeded to read a list of things. It was a pretty shocking list. Why was it shocking? I had not heard the majority of the things on the list. And I didn't know that. I wasn't prepared for that kind of meeting we were having. And isn't it true that you heard things that were prefaced with no more this or no more that? Gianetti, I think so, yes. Did that surprise you also? Hudson objects. That specifically I don't remember focusing on. The content to me was more surprising. Friedman, and was anyone addressing Justin directly? Yeah, I mean, it was to the room, but yeah, I think it was mostly to Justin. Was Ryan Reynolds yelling at Justin? It was a very long meeting, and there were times, yes, his voice was raised. Did you feel bad for Justin? Objection. Gianetti, yes. Why? I think it went over 5 hours, and he was visibly frozen. Who was invited to the meeting? Myself, Justin, Jamie, Alex Sachs, Todd Black, and I think it was the first AD or the line. I can't remember. I can't remember. Did Todd Black talk to you about his reaction to the meeting? Gianetti, at length. Did he tell you it was one of the harshest meetings he had ever been to in his entire career? Gianetti, he did. What did he say about that? It was the fact that we were not prepared for such that we thought something else was going to occur and the length of the meeting, and that there was I don't even think there was a break. So it was a 5-hour meeting. There wasn't even a break. We never experienced that. Friedman then asked, had you ever experienced that in your illustrious career? Hudson objects, and then they stopped there. Okay. No, what is this? Okay, I'm not going to read this because we have read this. This is the text messages just into his support group the next day about it all. So we've already seen all that. Jenny Slate to Blake Lively. Messages dated the 14th of January 2024. Blake, excited to have you back. I think you'll enjoy this time, and you don't need to hug anyone is the best part. Slate, how wonderful. Lively, and he won't touch you. Or shouldn't. I don't think he or Jamie will. Slate, did more discussion happen in these months off? Lively, my God. Slate, and how have you felt? Lively, so much to fill you in on. Solid, it's a professional set and we're getting good work. Slate, I'm so glad. I'm so curious to hear anything you've got to share. And then Slate attaches, I don't know, a link to something. Okay. What is this? Oh, this is Blake Lively's PGA, is it? Is it? Oh, well, I'm going to leave that for the PGA. I'm going to mark that one and leave it for the PGA run. Okay. Okay, so this is messages. 30th of May 2024 to 31st of May 2024. Josh Greenstein, Blake Lively. Okay, I need to pick it up. Okay, Josh Greenstein. He's coming now, but I'm here and all good. Good news, booked a contract. Your cut needs to test within 7 points of his. For Sony and Wayfarer to have mutual approval means his did 68. We just need to do 61 or above. Okay. Lively. Only indefinite recommend. Top 2 boxes irrelevant. Greenstein, yeah. Lively. I beat him in the F and F by 3 points. Indefinite recommend already. And this cut is plussed because I had more time. Do they find out tonight? How does that work? Greenstein. I'll find out first and text you. They will find out when they get home tonight. We are emailing everyone. Lively. And then they just know what that means. Yes, going to be clear. That's from Greenstein. Yes, going to be clear. Lively. Loved his message. Amazing. Can't wait to wake up with this behind us. We have very exciting work to do that will pay off. And then she sends kisses. Someone's got to babysit their whole crew from grabbing a tablet and voting. Going to sleep. We'll check my phone. Text me, please. Greenstein. I'm on patrol. Just finished. Played well. Waiting for scores. Lively. Questioned. Waiting for scores. Any update? Josh Greenstein. Tonight's top line scores 48% excellent, 83% top 2, 62% def rec. Scores for last screening at same location 56% excellent, 85% top 2, 66 def rec. From my head of research. I don't understand all of this, I'll be perfectly honest with you. Biggest differences compared to the last screen in our relationship between Lily and Ryle is down 6. Sorry. Relationship between Lily and Ryle is down 6 points to 38%, the lowest rating of all the elements. Relationship between young Lily and young Atlas is down 6 points. There's one less flashback scene now. The drama is rated 27% lower, 27 points lower. We need to read the cards to see why. Romance is rated 18 points lower. The beginning is moving too fast by plus 5 points. The ending is moving too fast by plus 7 points. Confusion is up by 3 points. We'll have to read the cards to see what these younger females are saying about the beginning and ending, as well as what's confusing. Lively. Spoke with Colleen. She feels like I do. Still full steam ahead with my cut. I asked her to text you as well, so you're not taking my word for it. Oh, she asked Colleen Hoover to text Sony to demand that her cut was used. Lively. Also, I think it's important for them and everyone to know I'm not going to kill myself anymore for this to be in a state of limbo. So this isn't a punt of a decision until the next test with the next round of scores. Colleen and I are declaring now, this is the cut. We will work to improve this cut, but Colleen said tonight, I would much rather have your cut exactly as it is to be released than his cut. Even with the lower numbers, I don't like his cuts. Well, what about the view of the audience? Are we saying like, well, I don't care about what the audience think. We're happy with it and that's that? She continues, and you know how I feel about this. I believe this is a far better, more elevated, most evergreen version of the film. What the fuck is evergreen? Is it a garden variety version of the film? And quality to me always wins. That's, oh my God, right. But it wasn't quality because she scored lower and did even worse with the second screening. His movie is very YA. I have no idea what YA means. Very lifetime YA, which is why I'm sure it's resonating with younger people. That makes sense to me. I tried to wash all the sweaty YA off the movie because, to Colleen's point, this isn't a YA book. What is YA? That said, I can and will get our numbers up. I love getting the booklet and the keys to the kingdom as to how to improve. This is an opportunity that Wayfarer never gave me. The entitlement. So I'm happy to be able to be perspective and clear about where to improve. I can't wait. I just need an editor. And also to know that it's done. It's done from my perspective, from Colleen's and from Taylor's and from Sony's, question mark. Prescriptive, not perspective. Lively. I'm mortified to send you a 5-minute voice memo, but I'm about to take off and won't be able to speak for 8 hours or so. So I gave you 8 hours and 5 minutes. Oh, God. Can only imagine. I was so empty when we spoke this morning, and even when I texted you, so I wanted to better capture what I was trying to convey. I land at 4:10 ET, so maybe we can call at 5:30 ET. I should be home by then. Dying to hear the analysis. Speak soon. Yes, there. 5:30 East. Sending you cards now. Josh, and reaching out to your editor. Sent cards, sending analysis now. Lively. Like that message? Josh. Editor, Alan, previous editor, not coming back. He has a wedding he's not missing. John asking our SNL producers if we can borrow Shane in their editor for 4 days. Was SNL involved in this? Deadpool editor who worked with Blake on Cut before. She loved him and he knows the movie. That would be the win. So they brought in another Deadpool editor. Lively. Thank you so much. Bradley has someone he's reached out to. Right, there we go. So now we know how the fuck Bradley Cooper was involved in all of this. She's an assistant editor, but he said she's great. I followed up with Jack to send the analysis, dying to read on the plane, so I'm all caught up when we speak. I've been going through the cards. Also, did you get my voice memo earlier? Because it doesn't show on our thread for me. Greenstone, I just saw I haven't listened. I will do after, out with Tom, spoke to Colleen and all good. Speaking with Wayfarer today, set in final preview Wednesday. Lively liked the message. I will be home in 10 minutes. Maybe we can push for 10 minutes so I'm not getting out of the car. So sorry. This will be less chaotic. Greenstein, yes, let's say 245. Okay, I mean, some of that I didn't understand because of the kind of, industry speak, but there we go. Oh my God, that was revealing. Right, so that was the threat to Sony. I already knew about that because it's in the Rule 56.1 statement, but that's the actual message of it. Also, they reached out to SNL for an editor, and it happened to be someone that has also worked on Deadpool. And Bradley Cooper was also putting her in touch with an editor too. So there was such a collective effort, is what I'm going to say. Okay, messages. Blake Lively and Josh Greenstein again on the 3rd of July, 2024. Blake, can you guys come meet me at lunch so I don't lose time in here? 12:30. Praying hands. Greenstein, hi. Shit, no, I can't. I'm leaving town. East Coast. Can we grab you for 10? And then he attaches something. Where's your car? Lively. That's fine. I'm here. Oh my good God. And then Lisa has to shoot the credits today. So she just told me we need to know all by 4 p.m. today. Greenstein. Okay, just spoke to Jamie. He's thinking. Very resistant to losing film by, but I might be open to moving it down lower and putting Hotline in current place. Resistant to 2 producers before him. I hammered him on this. He's thinking. And Colleen can share credit with Todd, but that dude who paid for the movie has to go first. Solo. That dude who paid for the movie has to go first. Is that Sarowitz? Okay. Greenstein, legally, Wayfarer has approval over credits. Lively, film by is wild. And then she attaches some article calling a film by credit a vanity credit. Ugh, it's Vanity Fair, for fuck's sake. Right, so that's... Greenstein spoke to this. Will also send him. The hotline card needs to stay where it is. 100% precedent. Still Greenstein. Yo, call me. Lively. Lisa asking legal if type of the violence hotline can be any larger instead of as small as names in crawl, just like 15%, so people can process it. All good if not. She's asking, so nothing to do, but I always want all above board. Okay. So what? Hold on, let me just... the hotline card. Well, where's that gonna... Was she trying to move the hotline card for domestic abuse? Okay. Right, okay. Lively. Thank you again. Blown away by you. Greenstein. Hi. Not sure. Tell her to ask Ange legal question. I'm totally fine if bigger, and of course we're going hard to finish line. Lively. So great. We're killing it. Ugh. Okay. So these are messages between home. I'm pretty sure home is Ange Gianetti. I don't know why it's down as home, but... And then we got Sanford Panich. I think he's from... he or she, I don't know if that's he or she actually, from Sony. This is 19th of June 2024. Panich. It's the End With Us premiere on Tuesday the 9th. Do you know where it will be held? I can't believe they caved on the producer credit for her. Oh, God. I'm going to say Gianetti because I'm pretty sure I know this is Gianetti. Gianetti. She wants to change credits. All the order of pods. Her second position, moving Jamie to third. EP's cast order, single cards, cut film by, move cast crawl before keys. Have been dealing with this since 9 a.m. Panich. Well, I'm thrilled they did. Are they saying yes to that too? This is truly insanity. This is all in New York. And then there's dates for junkets and then the premiere. Wayfarer doesn't even know all of this, and we cannot renegotiate cast deals so she can move kids up. No time. Nor movie cast crawl because before keys, even though she wants Sony to call guilds to get, she can try for PGA credit. She expects Sony, aka me, to persuade Wayfarer to agree to remove a film by Justin Baldoni and move her producer credit before theirs. Getting them to approve giving her a producer credit was Herculean. She just turned over her editorial changes to cut after Dallas. So go in to watch now. Report back. Panich. I don't want us to ask them to do that for her. She can ask herself. We bent over backwards enough. This is getting to the point of absurdity. Which Gianetti liked that message. Okay. What is this? Messages between Ange Gianetti, Josh Greenstein. 19th of June 2024. This is quite short actually. So Gianetti, hi, just a heads up, credits, and if Blake calls you, 3 things. 1, she wants Columbia and Wayfarer at present, credit at end. Okay. 2, she wants kids credits, single cards earlier. Kids credits. We are explaining order of cast on single cards are all contractual. We cannot go back and renegotiate cast deals to change order. Is the kids, is that like Isabella Farah and Alex? I can't remember. I can't say his name, but young Alex, young Atlas, and young Lily. Is she saying that she wanted their credits above Justin Baldoni and everyone else? 3, she wants a card that says, if you or anyone you know is experiencing domestic abuse card to come sooner. We want place where we put in a man called Otto after mains and cast call. We gave on first one, but we got a hold line on the other 2 for legal and abuse hotline appropriate. We are main on ends. Oh, so she wanted to bring forward the hotline number because then it would fly by at the end of in the credits, and it would go up. Whereas if it's at the end, it lingers on screen for a bit longer. All right, I've got it. We are main on ends. All credits other than logos after film. Thanks. Ange, such a diss. Is she meant to say diss or dick? Either or. Okay. Okay, some more deposition. Danny Greenberg. These are really short. So Garofolo. Exhibit 13 is another chat, this time with Mr. Heath. It is dated Wednesday, July 3rd, 2024. Mr. Baldoni is included. And in the first chat, he says, please tell Josh that I'm willing to waive my, quote, a film by credit, close quote. I want peace and for this to end. Did you have any understanding of what Mr. Baldoni is saying in Exhibit 13? Yes. What is he saying to your understanding? Greenstein. No, Greenberg, isn't it? This is Greenberg. Yeah, this is Justin's agent. Jamie reached out to me to let me know that Blake made a request that Justin take off his film by credit, and which opened up another conversation that we had to have strategically. And ultimately, Justin made the decision to waive his film by credit for her. Was Ms. Lively at this point in time still threatening not to participate in publicity this time if Mr. Baldoni didn't agree to waive his film by credit? Objection, objectable. I'm not aware of that. Okay. So this is Ange Gianetti and Sanford Panich, 11th of March 2024. And this looks quite short. Okay, Panich. You know Blake said no way on the day. Huh? Gianetti. To who? So, Panich. So now there is 2 cuts. She texted Josh. How so we control her creative? How so we control her creative control? Gianetti. There is only 1 cut. The one he previewed Friday night. She saw this morning, has not responded to Justin yet. Jake mentioned nothing to me. Panich. And accused Josh of setting up fake screening. She said they hired Screen Engine without consulting her. She is going to demand her own cut. She said no way to on. I don't know what that means. Panich. We are now looking at August. Gianetti. It was not fake. Panich. Eat, Pray, Love. Julia and Julia in August. Panich. She's a terrorist. Oh, so more than one person that's only called her a terrorist. Panich. Even if it wasn't fake, the point is she didn't feel part of that screening. She should have been brought into the fold on that so she could own those numbers as well. And respectfully, there is no process that works with her. There isn't. What's important is that we have a baseline, so we know. You can tell her everything, include her in everything, and it still does not hold. Panich. She is in editing room. Can you go there so we can understand? Gianetti. It's all remote. She saw a movie this AM, said she is not going in until tomorrow, so we call her and see if I can get a read. Panich. Can you join Zoom? We have to know the issues. Gianetti. Just texted her. Okay. Okay, so we have some text messages. Warren Zavala, Danny Greenberg, Patrick Whitesell. I think we've seen this. We'll look at it anyway, though. So this is 22nd of July, 2024. Danny Greenberg sends Patrick, Warren 2 in brackets, spoke with Josh Greenstein, need your help with Blake as we discussed regarding the premiere. Up to a couple of weeks ago, we were seemingly good on the premiere. Now that Justin took a shot at the coffee table book and his documentary, Blake has flipped and is pushing Sony that Justin shouldn't go to the premiere. No, is that what it was? That's really shitty. She has the author now taken that position and threatening not to go if he goes. Blake is also ringleading with the other actors too. She's been brilliantly choreographing this for a while. Right, so that's confirming that she is ringleading the other actors. It's brutal. And it's also bad for the movie, her and all involved. Josh Greenstein may reach out to you. We need your help powering her down. I have more, can discuss tomorrow. Patrick Whitesell. Danny, let's you and I discuss tomorrow. And yet, when they were talking, like the messages were going back between some of these people and Ryan Reynolds, it was like, yes, Ryan, no, Ryan. Would you like me to, kiss your feet, Ryan? Oh, I've just read that one. I got the impression that Sony were equally terrified of Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively. This is July 26th. This is Danny Greenberg and Justin Baldoni. Okay, so Danny Greenberg, start with this. Overall, to articulate to your partners and friends at Sony, this request is a bridge too far. That we have all done our best to accommodate one request after another, but to expect me, my family, my partners and company to not attend the premiere is simply outrageous, and enough has to be enough. The note should not feel like you are defending yourself in any way, but rather presenting a chain of events, requests, and continued behavior that on her part that has now led to us to this, another outrageous position that not even you could have predicted. Once you begin your letter, pivot from your opening couple of sentences to laying out your and your partner's, Sony, perspective of the chain of events along the way that has led us to where we are now. Meaning it wasn't just your experience, they are your partners, it was theirs too. I.e., what you mentioned this AM about their acknowledgement of the continued extortion in an effort to gain control of the film, but don't in any way put Sony on the defensive or indict them. So this is Justin Baldoni's WME at the time agent explained to him how to push back against Blake Lively and defend the way that Wayfarer and Sony have been extorted, pressurized, had unreasonable demand after unreasonable demand thrown at them. This is really telling. Then, if you can be contrite in some capacity, very briefly acknowledging that the two of you had your moments where she would dissect your energy, word choice, and personality frequently that led to mutual discomfort working with one another. Not everyone gets along, kind of thing. Not all personalities are compatible, etc. Start moving into the chronological storytelling, the slow, continued build up on her part to achieve her ultimate goal of literally taking the movie from you, Sony, and Wayfarer, and effectively having final cut. Be sure to include the testing process, the results, etc. And I will say this, we just seen the messages where Blake Lively was telling Josh Greenstein, no, I'm putting my foot down, full steam ahead, we're using my cut. And all the way through her lawsuit, she has referred to the cut as Sony's cut. But in private messages, it was her cut. Overall, find a way to pepper in the fact that she is talented and she did contribute and is wonderful in the movie. Remember, you wrote that PGA letter to be consistent with your praise. But at the same time, keep in mind, you never doubted her talent and ability as an actress. It's everything that came with it that has led us to here, which has been so disappointing and startling for you. We can discuss more. Baldoni, is that an accident or on purpose? Okay. We have deposition of Colleen Hoover. Okay, so Hudson is the lively attorney. Zeldin, I can't remember her full name, but Zeldin is the attorney for Wayfarer. And it looks like she's questioning actually. So Hudson's objection. Hoover, Miss who? Miss Gianetti and Gianetti. Hoover, probably, but I don't know how to read those numbers to know what any of it means. Zeldin, before the premiere of the film on August the 6th, you said you unfollowed Justin. Uh-huh. And why did you do that? Blake asked me to. There we are. We have it. She was asking people to unfollow Justin Baldoni. Okay. On August 16th, May 16th, 2024, when you called and spoke with Blake, or Blake called you, did you tell Blake that you hated Justin? Because that's what Blake has been saying. Hoover, I don't remember this phone call, and I don't remember what you're talking about. Is that something that you would normally say, or that you hated somebody? Objection. It doesn't seem like the verbiage I would use, no. Because you don't like conflict, right? And then, yeah, I think that's that bit. Wow, that was quite telling, wasn't it? So Colleen Hoover was asked by Blake Lively to unfollow Justin Baldoni. Okay, we have messages now between Blake Lively and Jenny Slate, 13th of July, 2024. Slate, also, I texted my Insta assistant to unfollow. Oh my God. So why is she telling Blake Lively that she has an assistant for Instagram? But why would you, that's clear that why would you share that with someone and not just do it if that's how you personally felt? And it all come at the same time as well, July 2024. Lively. I just saw I half wrote a text to you from your last text. I'm so sorry. I will finish the thought. Lively. I'm so happy to hear your plan for your month, what you're doing, and also what your aspirations are for quiet, attainable peace, which is real success. Not all the other stuff we're told. Just the time to follow our nose at home. It's the dream, and I love how often you carve out that reality. It's beautiful, and it inspires and encourages me so much to get to that place again. That's the most real happiness. That's the most real happiness any of us will ever feel. This sounds like something that Justin Baldoni would write. That would offend Blake Lively. That is why I'm kind of giggling here a little bit, because they don't like all of this gushy stuff when Justin Baldoni says it, but they're quite happy sitting talking to each other like that. And it all goes by too fast. The time to do it is now, and thank you for sharing your world with me because it inspires me so much. All that said, you are so stunning in this movie. I can't wait for the other, more societally discussed version of success to further roar around you like a gust of wind coming across your fire. They will all be chasing after your light, begging to get you on screen more, bringing their work to life like only you can. I sure would. Not that you need it or even want it. It's just nice that your talent will reach so many people with this movie and that they truly appreciate you because what you do in this movie genuinely helps people. It's obnoxiously earnest sounding, but it's true. I've watched it for months now. I can't wait for you to feel that energy surrounding you, fed from your work in this. It's incredible and potent. We all have something to be proud of, especially Justin. I made sure from day one and continue to. The work is beautiful across the board and across departments. We had incredible teams on and off camera at every stage, and it shows everyone really does deliver. I can't wait to get this thing out into the world and out of my nest. I'm constantly in the never-ending muck and mire of this film, but it's also given me some of the most beautiful moments in my career. I thought this was the worst experience of your career. The highlight being the people I got to work with. All of them. Every single one. Are you? I thought it was terrible. I thought she couldn't get out of bed. I thought there was garden variety distress. Now this has been the most beautiful moment of her career, and the highlight was the people she got to work with, all of them, every single one. Fucking hell. All of them, every single one, but two. Oh, all of them, every single one, but two were just wonderful in every way. Okay, so she did say but two, so she was probably discounting, I'm guessing, Justin and Jamie. However, how can you say simultaneously this was the worst experience of my life, but also this was the one of the most beautiful moments in her career. You are the sparkling cake topper on that wedding cake. Oh, fucking hell. Your friendship has been such a beacon of goodness and light in all of this. You are the positivity that you so generously gave me credit for. Now you see why I only made it halfway through this text before I am tangent. To be honest, all of that should have been redacted as non-responsive because it's all nonsense. All of that because Jenny Slate said I unfollowed him. Exhibit 30. Let's go on. What is this? I always start at the bottom. So these are Omar Giuzelli. I have no idea who that is. They're flagging Blake Lively Instagram comments. Hi Danny, wanted to flag this as a top moment on Blake's latest Instagram post posted an hour ago. It currently has 24 likes. Does anyone find it odd that Justin has been in like zero promo? Is Justin Baldoni doing any press for this movie? Not to be Domois, but does anyone have tea on why Blake doesn't follow Justin? Where is Justin Baldoni on this promo tour? Why are you not following Justin Baldoni? Where is Justin Baldoni in all your interviews? Why is he sidelined? Hold on. Oh, so Omar works for Sony. Right, okay. Then it's forwarded to Gloria Han and Danielle Misha, FYI. And then it's forwarded to Josh Greenstein and Jacob Johnson, Josh C. below. Okay. So people were organically saying, what's going on? Okay. So this is Angela Yang, NBC Universal, asking Jamie Candell, who works, I now know, for Vision, works for Leslie Sloan. Hi, Jamie. I'm Angela, a reporter for NBC News. This is August 19th, 2024. Writing a story looking at how domestic violence survivors feel about the marketing around It Ends With Us. Despite the film involving themes of intimate partner violence, the promotion has received some backlash for appearing to portray it as a fun summer romance. Some of the criticism has also touched on Ryan Reynolds' involvement during the marketing campaign, with people saying that Ryan and Blake's cross-promotion of each other's films took away from the focus on domestic violence in It Ends With Us. Which is absolutely fair. And, when you trying to market a film about domestic violence and then you're cross-promoting it with a film like Deadpool, which is 94% violence, that's definitely questionable. Ryan is not the focus on the story. Has anyone told him that? But would he like to share any comment on this? Thanks for your time. Then Jamie sends, this is the story Sony needs to comment on per our call. The marketing around It Ends With Us does not sit entirely on her shoulders. Did you connect with Josh? We left word for Tara. Okay. I have seen who the from is on the top there, but I can't remember who it was. Aren't we just putting this in the studio and their marketing approach to the film? Okay. I think we've only got a few more exhibits now. What is this? David Small to Josh Greenstein, Elias Plishner, Gloria Han, Danny McGinn. Ends with us cast controversy. Okay, I mean, this looks like a really... Right, there's a lot of links, so I'm not going to... Okay, yeah, so... These are news response. What was a smear campaign? Look at this press response. Neutral, 55%. Pro Blake, 20%. Pro Justin, 25%. I mean, that doesn't sound... Oh, okay. Social response is very different. Neutral, 7%. Pro Blake, 4%. Pro Justin, 89%. Okay. I won't read all the press stuff because I don't think that's kind of important, but let's look at this email. Josh, per your discussion with Elias, below is a high-level look at both the social and press response to the reported controversy between Blake and Justin. Thanks to Glow's team for helping on the press breaks. Importantly, response to the movie itself was very positive across social platforms, 81% overall from 460,000 mentions, with audiences praising its emotional impact and urging others to watch it with friends. On social, the controversy drove 216 mentions, about a third of overall movie-related conversation. Very little of this seemed to impact people's interest in seeing the movie. However, much of the online response was more supportive of Justin. Negativity around Blake was most prominent on Twitter and TikTok, likely coming from younger audiences, while Facebook and Instagram were much more supportive overall. Some younger audiences felt Justin spoke to the DV subject matter more seriously, while others criticized Blake's approach, including the focus on her outfits and hair care company and co-promotion of the film with Ryan. Note that while we don't have detailed international information available, we know it was discussed far less, only 9% of discussion. Wow. Press response was more neutral in its coverage, 55%, with the remainder only slightly leaning towards support for Justin, 25% versus Blake, 20%. Detail can be found below. Let us know if there are any questions. So they're basically saying, look, the problem was, the cross promotion with Ryan, that her outfits, her hair care company. Absolutely fair. Okay. Oh, good God. What is this? Let me just see what it is. Katie Case draft. Notes from call with Jamie and Tara. I'll do this as a separate thing, I think, because it is just an email about. Okay. Oh my God, that goes on and on and on. This is all about a phone call. Yeah, I'll make a note of that one as well and do that separately or fit it in with something else. That just seems like an awful lot. All right, okay. Exhibit 36. So this is this looks like email thread between Wayfarer, there is Katie Case, Emin Mizian, Melissa Nathan, Miss Toskovich, Brian Singer. Brian Singer's in here. Okay. So we'll start at the bottom. Melissa Nathan. Hi, Jamie. Please meet Jed, who will be having his team assist on all social activity based off our own conversation, as well as their digital plan you are in receipt of. He's aware we're going for their quote 2 option for 30,000 per month for 3 months. Jed and team has worked on some of the most monumental BTS projects behind the scenes globally, and I'm extremely happy to make this intro between you both. Jen/Matthew and tag team will be working alongside them, of course, but you should both find a few minutes to connect around the project as well as payment. Thanks so much, Melissa. Katie Case wrote, to quickly follow up, I know we want to work as fast as possible. I've attached an invoice from Street Relations as discussed, and to echo Melissa, Jed and his team are truly the best of the best. So happy we could make this connection. Then Jed Wallace, thank you for the connecting point, Katie. Jamie, an absolute pleasure. While the circumstances are the circumstances, this is our wheelhouse, and we have it prioritized across all platform-specific specialists working for me, Jed Wallace. Then Jamie, hi Jed, wonderful to meet you. I apologize for the delay. The premiere and screening we had today has been just crazy time. We are happy to have you on board. As for the invoice, I'm adding my team to get into this and have you taken care of ASAP. Please meet Brian. Brian, who is Brian? Who is Brian Singer? Legal? Yeah, Brian, Imin, and Mitz, our CFO. Oh, okay, Chief Financial Officer. Head of Legal and our VP of Operations, respectively. Please rest assured we will get you squared up. Team Wayfarer, please prioritize this. Thank you all, Jamie. Okay. 2 more to go. Okay, who is this? Is this Katie Case? A deposition? Oh my God. Right, okay. I'm not sure who is representing here. I'm just going to say question for the attorney until I know who's who. Okay, she's answering a question. I never been on a call with a psychic before. I can guess where that's coming from. Question, was it unusual to you? Answer, Case, in my workday, it was unusual comparatively to most client calls. It was unusual to you, correct? In the scope of most client calls, yes. What about just generally? Was it unusual? What was the psychic's name? I don't remember. Was it a male? It was. Oh, Stephanie Jones used a male psychic. Okay. How would individuals at TAG communicate with each other when working on this account? Primarily text. iMessage? Yes. Signal? Not really, no. Sometimes? At times. When would TAG individuals use Signal in lieu of iMessage? If we would speak with Jed, it was primarily over Signal. And why was that? I'm not sure. Was that at Jed's request? No. Who suggested that you use Signal? It was just the form of communication that was used. Do you recall the first time you communicated with Jed on Signal? Not by date specifically, no. Did he text you on Signal? Not individually, but as it related to communications. Did you have a Signal account prior to working at TAG? I believe so, yes. And did you communicate on it, but then it cuts off, so we don't see any more of that? Oh my God. What I would have given to be on, like, a fly on the wall in some of these depositions where there's just some absolutely batshit crazy stuff coming out. Okay, so this is the retainer letter for Friedman's firm to, Baldoni, Jen Abel, Sarowitz, Wallace, Heath, Nathan. Okay. It's really just standard scope of services, client duties, etc., etc. They have redacted, obviously, the charging fees, the hourly charging fees. I'm not going to read that because that is standard. It redacted the banking address, banking details, etc. for Friedman's firm. Okay. There's nothing important. That's been signed by Jamie Heath on the 26th of December. So Friedman was retained after she filed her CRD. Okay. I mean, yeah, he did give a statement, but they were formally retained on the 26th of December, which makes sense because, all that crap dropped over Christmas. Okay. So that's it of the exhibits. That's been absolutely wild. So we're getting a lot more. She was telling Sony, I don't care how my film rates. I want my cut to be used. And it was her cut. There was concern over the involvement of Ryan Reynolds in all of this. Which his own messages as well, he seemed to talk about the effect everything's had on him and so on and so forth. And, keeps referring to, we've put in too much, we've worked too hard. And I questioned, through those videos, well, what's he done? What is he talking about when he says, we have done this, we have done that, we are affected this way? Why is it we? Stephanie Jones did use a psychic. Colleen Hoover unfollowed Justin because Blake Lively asked her to. And it very much looks like Jenny Slate did the same thing because she messaged Blake Lively specifically to let her know, oh, by the way, I've told my Instagram assistant to unfollow Justin. If it was organic, why would you need to let Blake Lively know? And it was almost on the same day that Colleen Hoover did it too. Sony also confirmed, was it Sony or WME? No, it was WME, I think. I don't know, I can't remember. It was Sony or WME. They basically confirmed that she had been kind of ringleading the cast, etc. That her demands were just getting ridiculous, and even Sony had enough. I'm like, oh Jesus, we bent over backwards. So very, very interesting. So, like I say, I had this conversation with another content creator yesterday, and I was like, that person said to me, oh my God, this looks so bad for Wayfarer. And I was like, yeah, it's meant to, because this is Blake Lively's exhibits. This is what she has attached. These are things that will help her case. So it will naturally look bad, but it's just like a part of the story. Let's wait to see what Wayfarer, unsealed, because what they attach is going to be helpful to them. And sure enough, that's exactly what has happened here. So my opinion has not shifted. To me, she did not like Justin Baldoni and Jamie Heath for whatever reason, but her objective was to take over the film and get her cut and get the PGA mark, both of which she got. And her husband was just interfering at every opportunity for reasons that I do not know why. He would have been so pissed off if Justin Baldoni had tried to do that to his Deadpool movies. There was absolutely no kind of, where was the kind of etiquette amongst professionals in the same industry, directors, producers, writers, actors? Were you just interjecting yourself and bringing your friends, Bradley Cooper, fucking Matt Damon, Taylor Swift, Sean Levy? Don't forget there was that phone call where Sean Levy called to kind of get Justin to correct course. So this was like such a collaborative thing to put all this pressure and squeeze the life out of Justin Baldoni and Wayfarer and Sony to some degree. There are times though where Sony would be, all empathetic and supportive and, oh my God, I can't believe she's doing this. But then to Blake and Ryan in the messages, be like, oh my God, yeah, what a bunch of cunts, what a bunch of this, what a bunch of that. They're so stupid, they're so dumb. And basically enabling them. So the one common ground I do have with Lively in all of these communications is I agree. Sony enabled, but they didn't enable Justin to harass Blake Lively or Jenny Slate or anyone else. They enabled Blake Lively to be a complete and utter control freak, to, steal a movie from a man and destroy his reputation. And I'm going to stop there. I will do the PGA letters though, I promise.